So I just want to wish everyone happy Lunar New Year. It's the Chinese New Year today, and it's the metal ox. So we've stepped out of the year of the rat into the year of the ox. And I was just quickly looking up a little bit about it today because ironically my feng shui person doesn't do feng shui anymore. But I for some reason was very curious to read about it, which normally I don't. Maybe that's because I always counted on her to fill me in. But the ox is about hard work. But my sense was for this year, not like that heavy hard work, but that it's time for us to work towards what we're becoming. It's time to bring action. It's time to do it in a steadfast, honest, and earnest way. So I kind of like that energy of, and then the cards I pulled ended up for tonight, which I'll wait a couple minutes to see if anyone else is going to join us. Those cards kind of followed suit with that energy of just that working towards something, working towards achieving our soul's calling, what's deepest in our hearts. And it's been a hard week. I don't know about anyone else, but kind of always follow suit with the new moon, and to me with the water ceremony, sometimes there's a lot of waterworks that happen, and for me there were a lot of waterworks this week, with a lot of endings, and which, not saying that to ask for sympathy as much as saying that really doing the work of honoring those endings and really
Cool.
coming to terms, coming to peace with, and not keeping them trapped in my body as to become shadow. So that's what we don't want to do. We want to honor what there is, honor, because we are, to me, this the new moon in Aquarius is all about how are we going to dream our world into being, and the only way we can dream our world into being is to not bring any of the old package with us. You know, the pieces that we have to honor and bring with us, but to go ahead. I was listening to a bunch of people in the last couple of days, and they're saying, oh, and just so that anyone knows, it's being hosted remotely again. So if something pops up, I don't have anyone here that's reading it for me. So Ash, just if there's anything important, you could text me. I have my phone next to me. But so we're in this new age of Aquarian, and this new age of movement. I mean, we're in the new age of Aquarian, and now we're working with the moon in Aquarius. The moon in Aquarius, we get that dreamy like of Piscean, and sometimes the Aquarian can be a little bit aloof, a little bit cold, a little bit. And to me, as someone who has the moon in Aquarius, I've been judged harshly by astrologers, because I'm the furthest thing from having a cold heart. But I can have a tendency to look at things through discernment. That's why I can be your girl in crisis, because I will respond without getting too emotionally charged by it. I'm going to feel it later. It will hit me. It will hit me hard. I will get emotional. I will experience it, but generally in the moment of something happening, I could be good in responding. And that's just from having that little bit of detachment. So maybe we're going to go there today. I have no idea. As always, just being a complete hollow bone and just trying to give a couple minutes until we make sure who's meant to be here. I have a feeling there's someone not here yet. I don't know who that is, but I'll explain to you some of the altar tonight. Generally in a water ceremony, I have a red and a white rose, if we were in person. So you would work with the red to do your release work. We would work with the white to be what brings in. Tonight, when I was at the food shopping for them, I was guided that it needed to be pink. It needed to be the blending of the two, and only one rose. And that place of holding in balance what was and what will be. Being able to hold it in that state of not one or the other. That knowing that we need our shadow and our light in order to move forward, because our shadow is actually vital because it teaches us. It's what helps us grow. It's what helps us. It gives us momentum. It gives us the lessons, the gifts. It's part of our journey. So you can't denounce it. You can't ignore it. You can't, just as I said, this week was a very, very emotional, very hard week for me. And it's been that way since last Saturday. And so I'm going on a week of it. And, but grateful for prayer, grateful for my connection to spirit, grateful for my connection to ceremony, and grateful to be able to be in service and to step out of those places of pain and suffering and step into that place of oneness, of creation, of manifestation. And that's what this new moon in Aquarius gives us, this opportunity to work with manifestation. And that's an amazing thing. The new moon is all about new beginnings. But as a new beginning happens, there has to be an end. So for me, this week was a lot of grieving over things that are ending, and pieces of me that are ending, and pieces of the collective. I think a lot of what I ran this week was the collective, and that's, part of me is signed up for that as being a ceremonial leader, and I honor that. Sometimes it's just hard to discern what's yours and what's the collective, and that's part of my lesson in teaching right now, and I encourage everyone else that is walking this path of being in service to the whole is for us to be able to very clearly be able to discern what's ours, what's the collectives, and not that either are more important or less important. It just can sometimes help us from beating the shit out of ourselves a little less, because we may feel like we backslide a lot if it's a really big collective piece, because we think it's all of ours. And when I'm hearing spirit say, even if it was all ours, it really doesn't matter. It's still, as long as we are willing to sit with it and be with it and own it, that's a gift. So whether it's the whole enchilada or a piece of it that's ours, either way, we're good. So this will be the parks. I think we should be good to really get started. If you can put in chat, just like I said, just so that I can connect everyone and bring the circle together. If you can just pop your name in. If you want to put anything else, you can. But just your name, just so that we can get ourselves as a collective unit. And I want to
Andy, Carol says, I need some extra juice tonight. I'm coming out of having COVID.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I wanted to thank Ashley for hosting it for me. And I'm kind of grateful Carol brought up COVID, because right before pulling cards and getting ready for this evening, someone that I went to high school with, you know, we were friendly, we were friends, not like great friends, but it's one of the few people I actually connected with in Frankfurt. He passed tonight from COVID, and he's my age. He's 52, 53 years old, and he has been battling it for a while now. It destroyed his lungs, and he's been on life support for a while now, awaiting a lung transplant. It didn't happen. So I keep Matt in my prayers tonight, and all my graduating class that are feeling that right now, and his wife and his children, and all those. Matt was one of those guys, like he was on the football team, like he knew everybody. And some of you may have seen it. It was literally on the news not long ago. There was a candlelight vigil outside U of Penn, outside of the window of his in ICU, of people that came to make a prayer for him. So want to send a prayer out to him and to all those that have passed due to that virus, and it made me sit and think of how we're holding this virus, and how people are viewing it, and how, whether you believe in it or not, it's that being impeccable with your word. It's about that being part of the whole. Whether and people will say instantly about Matt, and he did have asthma, but this was a man that played high-level sports with asthma. So it wasn't like he was sniffing on an inhaler 24/7. So this is a man that still did everything in life with asthma. So it wasn't crippling asthma, even though I don't really care if it was crippling asthma. You know, when you say someone died of COVID, their first response was, so what did they have? What's the underlining? Because that's what killed them. So if anyone is saying that or doing that, and I've done that in the past, just with trying to get it, for me, it was always more of a grasp of trying to figure out why, like just trying to understand this illness actually more from a spiritual perspective. But when we do that, we're giving a disservice to the people that pass, because it doesn't matter if they had a pre-existing condition or not, or so that like kind of gives them a scarlet letter over them, and you know, it's like, oh well, that's a given. It's not a given. Like, this is someone's life. This is someone, and I'll talk about everyone, not just Matt. That is devaluing their experience in their life, and those that they love. So you really need to, this new age that we're heading into is all about how do we have more compassion. So that's what I wanted to explain tonight on the altar. I was guided to bring out this rose quartz. But right now I'm really in spirit. I'm pretty 100% sure Gail is who gave it to me. Or yes, or Honey or Gail. I'm so sorry. But this flame, it's a rose quartz flame, and they gifted, whoever gifted that to me, apologize again. This is because of what I bring to ceremony and what I bring to the group. So that's what they felt in their heart to gift me. And so I really felt compelled to put it on the altar tonight, is because how do we bring that level of compassion, that level of unconditional love into our lives and into all those that we come in contact with? How do we bring that level of compassion and love into how we are in the world, how we show up, what we say, what we are, what we do? How do we bring that? Because that's how we're going to create this new mythic map, this new mythic journey. You know, you can't get to your soul's calling if you're not coming from your heart, because that's where it resides, you know, in your heart, in your heart of hearts, in the darkest, deepest recesses, in that place of the unknown, in that place of the unbirthed sits our soul's calling. So I have that flame on there tonight. So I'm hearing from spirit, it's to create that collective flame, that flame to burst open that calling, that song, that masterpiece, that drive, that inner calling that so sits in your heart, that is so ready to be birthed right now. And the cards I pulled, like when I read them to you, you'll see how they all come inside. And when I was in Peru the very first time, I'm not a woman of great means. Spirits tell me to say, not forever. But when I went to Peru, I like to buy a piece of pottery or clay or something, but my resources were limited. But I found this beautiful piece, and it's a woman, and she's kind of cloaked around in a circle, and she's pregnant. So I don't know if you could see that from the side, that she's pregnant. And she's beautiful. And it's just a little piece, but for me, why I was called to her was it's that place of potentiality. It's that place of birthing that which we are meant to birth. And how do we do that? And she's so ripe, and I love how the way it's encircled. To me, it's like she's being held. She's being wrapped with arms, and they're wrapped with the arms of spirit. And that's what I kept hearing tonight as we were going to work with manifestation, because that's what the new moon calls us to do with this place of new beginnings, is to know that if it is a wish in your heart, spirit has your back. Our challenge is we forget to invite spirit in. We forget to call in our guides, call in the great mystery, call in Allah, God, Gaia, however you say it, is that every morning, call them in for help. That's what they're there for. They want to be of service, and they have us, like they have our back. We just want to do it alone a lot, or we think we have to do it alone. And maybe a lot of us have been doing it alone our whole life. But I'm here to tell you, we were never really doing it alone. Most of the time, we were probably just getting in the way. For me, all last year was the repeated thought that was always in my head was, thy will, not my will. As I, was shut down from work for 4 months, it's thy will, not my will, Candy. Like, and surrender it and turn it over, and we will provide. And they did. Like, spirit provided in all different forms and means. I was shocked. Like, I had no idea where all the help or the resources would come from. But the more I surrendered into thy will, not my will, the more creative ways showed up. And that's a miracle. Like, so miracles are around us all the time. And to me, life can be a miracle. We just have to believe they can be a miracle. We've been programmed to think they're a struggle, that they're that it's a lot of work, that and it is work, but not work in the sense of going through quicksand if you're following your purpose. If you are in that flow with the divine, you may be doing a lot of work, but you might never even feel like it's work. Because what happens is the universe is conspiring on your behalf. So you're in that flow. You've all been there where everything you need just pops up. So you're moving, you're constantly in movement towards something, but it never feels like a job. It never feels like drudgery or like because it's all in flow. It all just pops up when it's there. And to me, that's what this moon, that's what this new age of Aquarian is all about, is about how we're going to be able to move with this energy, to be in alignment with it, to create a reciprocity with that feminine principles, not that patriarchal principles that we have to conquer over, that there's scarcity. There's abundance for everyone. We've been just trained that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and most of us are wearing milk-bone underwear. I used to hear that all the time as a kid from everyone I was raised around. So you always, and that's what I really deeply had to look at recently and really realize that I can let it go and still be fine. But for me, how I always survived was through competition. You always had to be good. You always had to be the best. You always had to be moving, because if not, how am I going to be seen? How am I going to be recognized? How am I going to be able, to prove myself? I don't have to prove myself to anyone. I just have to show up. I have to show up with an open heart, with a pure intent. And the more actually that I am in willingness to be in service and to be part of the whole instead of competing against the whole, the more that I'm going to be nurtured and fed, and I'm not going to be so friggin' tired. And that's where I've hit, is I'm just tired of always having to feel like I'm in survival mode. So to me, that's part of what 2021 is about, is how do I step out of that place of survival mode, that almost post-traumatic stress? How do you step out of that and step into step into love, unconditional love, knowing that it's an abundant universe? And that's really tricky for me. Some people may have been raised more like that. I was raised the exact polar opposite of that. So it's a lot of self-talk to overcome. It's a lot of conditioning to overcome. But that's fine. Like, I'll take it one day at a time. Sometimes, like, just when I quit smoking, it might be second by second. But the more that I remember that I don't need to compete with anyone, I just need to be me, like, in its fullest. And when I step into envy or into jealousy or into feeling that I don't have something, because that's the whole thing, is we want an abundant life, we have to feel abundance. We have to be in that place of gratitude, in that place of abundance, and know that it's there. It's there if we are willing to. And I know that. I mean, I have stepped through so much fear in my life of not knowing how something's going to turn out. Just hearing spirit tell me, just step through the door, Ken, and it will all be there. And there be no logical way of how it's going to be there. But it always has, when I have gone out on a limb. And I believe that's what we're being asked right now, is to go out on that limb in the vast unknown, because I don't care who you sit and listen to or get your guidance from. No one has any answers right now. That's how uncertain, and not in a scary way. To me, it's actually in a beautiful way, the future is, because there's infinite possibilities right now. You don't have to be anchored into anything. There are so many different possibilities. So that's why it's just so vitally important that we clean up us. We clean up the hucha, the heavy energy that's in us that blocks us from thinking that we're worthy of this abundance, worthy of this happiness. Because if anything that hit me tonight when I saw that about Matt, is he's my age, right? He's my age. And knowing that, he probably did do everything that he wanted to do. But have I? Am I You know, life is short. And I already heard that I had a client whose husband passed too yesterday, and I had her in my chair, and he was 66. And that's all she kept saying to me. She goes, Candy, life is short. Like it's, you know, and I know that, but I've been surrounded by a lot of people that have passed recently that aren't old, quote unquote. They're still vital. They're still young. They're still in literally the prime of their life. Even a long time ago, I would have thought that they were ancient, but now I know they're not ancient. But so how am I showing up is what I'm hearing from spirit. So how are we showing up every day? And is how we're showing up reflecting what we want to create? And if it's not, it's only up to us to change it. No outside sources. There's no one else around you that is responsible for where you're at right now. I know that's hard to hear, but it's so true. I'm not saying that someone's actions may not be culpable, but you being there is your responsibility, if that makes sense. So we have to take responsibility, first off, for where we're at. Not from a judgmental way, not from a harsh way, but we're generally there because that's what we're programmed to think we deserve. That's what we're programmed to think we're worthy of. Or that's just the way life is, right? Because that's what our parents did. That's what our ancestors did. That's what the whole world's doing. I pulled one card tonight, and we've talked about this before in ceremony, is let your freak flag show. Be different. Like literally just be different. And listening to other people that I listen to for guidance, and you know, they're saying, you know, and I've been doing this, like in the snowstorm last week, is that change something each day a little bit. And I know that that's hard because most of us are stuck inside. But like what I did was I rearranged every closet I have, everything, like my cupboards, and made them all different. So Johanna went in and goes, but where's the baked things? And I'm like, they're there. She goes, why'd she do it? I said, because I have to think differently. I can't keep looking in there. First off, I needed it organized. But secondly, I wanted to go in there and I have to think, and I'm not on automatic pilot. I have to make conscious choices and not be walking around doing things I always did, because that's the definition of insanity. You know, you want the same result, keep doing what you're doing. You want a different result, you got to do something different. And so, and then our ego will be like, oh, but that's so much. And that's the whole point, is don't make it big. Do something goofy, like change your cabinets, because I'm creating new brain activity every time I walk into that cabinet, because I don't know where anything is still. So I'm like, oh, wait, where's the salt? Oh, it's up there. It's always been down there. But something as goofy as that does change your brain. It creates neuroplasticity. It creates new brain waves. It creates a new pathway that's being created and bypassing the old. So each day, try to do, if that's getting out of bed on the other side, then the other side. You know, whatever you did first when you wake up, don't do that anymore. Or when you go to sleep, or during the day. Keep switching up till you really are in the present, till you really are really deeply entrenched into what is happening in your life right now. Not the past, not the future, not that they don't have validity. But if you keep living in the past, Jorge would say the past then is always in front of you. Think about that. If we're always living in the past, it's always in front of you, because that's all you're creating is from your past. I don't want to keep creating my past. I want to learn from my past. I want to grow. I want to gain the skills and the healing and the gifts, but I don't want to keep recreating it. So we have to be in the present. We have to understand that we're doing things unconsciously. So that's a lot. I'm not talking anymore about that. So we're going to talk about the cards I pulled. And I'm going to ask for forgiveness of the goddess when I say her name, because it's probably not right. She's a Celtic goddess. I believe it's Onu or Ona. And Ona, the word under it, is there is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So there's various meanings for this card, but it says, don't worry about your purpose or your goals. Make no sudden moves. Slow and steady progress is best right now. Ease into your new life instead of rushing into it. Do your new work or you can do your new work as part-time ventures to begin with, while slowly exiting your old career. So do what's important to you and do it with absolute devotion. But remember that there's no competition for your true life's purpose. So there's no need to worry, hurry, or feel that you have to force things to happen. So that's the goddess that I pulled tonight to work with us. The soul card is saying to begin to explore. Are you surprised to find yourself feeling more curious than usual? Are you suddenly desirous of a grander, more creative, and more sensual life than the one you have now? Would you like to break free of a rut, resist the ordinary, and rebel against what kept you suppressed for what seems like forever? If so, be glad. You aren't having a midlife crisis. Your soul is simply reigniting the fire of your true being. This sudden longing for the unknown is your soul's way of leading you away from submission to a fearful ego and back to a joyful spirit. Rather than fight these crazy impulses, surrender to them, even if they make no sense or have no specific direction. Your soul's purpose right now is to allow you to engage in the unknown. It will direct your return to your authentic self. So follow your spirit and try something completely out of the ordinary. Your soul's lesson is to impose no restraints upon your spirit, but rather be receptive to all compelling opportunities and invitations. It's okay to proceed gently and with caution, but do move forward. The universe is watching over you and protecting you all the way. So with that said, we'll get ready to go into ceremony. No idea how it's going to work. We'll see. Spirits are called in. Once I call them in, I'll surrender to that. And also on the altar, so that everyone knows, are the deer antlers for gentleness also. And I'm guided to share with you. Last night I was driving home from work and I could see deer beginning to cross the road. So I slowed down so that they could cross. And it was so cool because it was a mommy and 3 fawn that came right in front of my car and just moseyed their way across the street. But I love that because, you know, yesterday was the new moon. So it was like there was that, you know, the 3 babies, the 3 new beginnings, you know, the mother maiden crone magic. So, and endings and beginnings. So we will open the directions and see how we're going to move forward with tonight's festivities. The ones of the south, the great serpent, Pachamama, come over after your cool of light around us. Help us shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop. Help us to stay out of that place of suffering and step into that place of impeccability. Teach us the beauty with it. Oh, Thank you, thank you, thank you. Teach us how to do all the work that we need to step into this new way, to step out of this place of suffering. Help us, help us, help us with this. And I thank you for any and all healing that will occur on the physical level. Oh. To the west, Dr. Mother Jaguar, thank you for protecting our medicine space. Thank you for teaching us how to have one foot in this world and one foot in the next. Thank you for teaching us how to go over that rainbow bridge, how to live fearlessly, how to step beyond that place of fear of death, of knowing that it's only a doorway into a new place, into a new state of consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors, that we learn how to walk on this planet and not leave a footprint. And thank you so much for any healing that occurs on the emotional level. Oh. To the winds of the north, to Sita Kinta, great hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of mythic and of magic and of imagery. Thank you for this place of stillness and light. Thank you for this place of teaching us how to be the eye in the center of the storm. Oh. Most importantly, thank you for teaching us how to take these epic journeys, how to know how to drink directly from the sweet nectar of life, so that we have all the resources that we need, so that we no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Oh. The winds of the east, great eagle, condor, apuchin, you fly wing to wing with a great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with a great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for giving us eagle vision so that we can see the limitless possibilities available at all time, so that we once and for all step out of that place of being fated and step into that place of our destiny. Oh. Mama, great mother, thank you for coming here for the healing of all your children. The two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the cry, the fin, the fur, and the winged. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being the true alchemist and taking that which no longer serves and bringing it back to us in the gifts of gold. Oh, thank you for being that place of the Divine Mother. Thank you for being the mother of all the beings on the planet, for the plants, for the animals, for us. Thank you for being that representation. Thank you for teaching us this place of grounding, this place of foundation, this place of belonging, this place of nurturing. Help us to continue to open up those places of the divine feminine that live deep, deep, deep within the resources of our being. And I thank you so much for being patient with us as a species and leaving us on your back yet another day. Oh. Mama Kia, Star Nations, Great Spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you are unnameable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts and minds and soul of everyone in this circle. Please whisper in our ear and touch our hearts. Please guide us. Please nurture us. Please be with us. I thank you for all the helping spirits and the guides and the ancient ones who are with us this evening, creating this beautiful circle around us, holding us ever so sweetly. I thank you. I thank you for your guidance, for your direction, for your love, for your compassion. Help it to ignite the compassion that lives within us and the passion. I thank you for allowing me to be a hollow bone. I ask for your guidance. I ask you to be a conduit. And I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be in service. And I thank any and all ancestors that have went before me, that sacrificed their life so I may make this prayer. Oh. Okay. I'd like you to sit for a moment. That maybe a little wonky. The energies came in very strongly. I don't even think strongly is a word, but that's what I'm hearing. So let's get grounded to ground in this energy that just came in. So let's see from either the root chakra or from the soles of our feet, roots going down into the belly of the mother. Deep, deep down. See them stretch out. See them first burst through the soil or the concrete or the asphalt or the rocks or the sand. Breaking down. Going down past the bedrock of the mother. Down to her molten core. And Spirit is asking us, before we dip the roots in, look at that molten core. Look at that vital life force, that fierce passion, that fierce love that lives within the core of the mother. See how it makes you feel inside. Knowing that this is part of the source through which we are all created. We are meant to be passionate beings, compassionate beings. And now dip those roots into that beautiful, beautiful molten core and start to source it up. See it come up, these roots, and either into your root chakra or through your feet, and feel this energy pulse up. And you can pulse it. And feel it, feel that root chakra. Seeing it awaken your Kundalini energy. Going up to your sacral, your second chakra, your womb, your place and your seat of creation, your Cusco. And see that fill. Up to your solar plexus, where your personal power resides. Filling this cavern of your chakra. Burning away any self-doubt, anything that blocks you from your personal power, your divine personal power. And feel that energy come up to your heart and burst it open, opening new doorways, new avenues, new pathways to your soul's calling, to your divine purpose, to the truth of who you are in the essential self. Coming up to your throat. Filling that chakra and burning away all the negative self-talk. all the sorcery that you bestow on others and yourself be transmuted. Coming up to your third eye, your place of seeing the world, your intuition. For a moment, with this place of the divine feminine, intuit. See through this opening in this new way, in your mind's eye. See how the world looks a little different. How your world looks a little different. Take a glimpse of possibility. They're endless. And then up to your crown chakra. That chakra that connects us to our soul, to source. To our mind. Our thoughts. And then see a coil of light going up to the heavens, to the Apus, to Inti Taitai, to Father Sun. That place of the divine masculine. That place of divine action. How we move forward in a way that is sustainable for the whole. The divine masculine is also this place of great safety. It is a beautiful container for the divine feminine to be able to dream big, knowing that she is held. And then feel that energy coming down. Coming into our crown chakra and filling it and blending with the divine feminine, creating that beautiful sacred marriage. Going into your third eye. Once again, that beautiful marriage between the two. Down to your throat. Down to your heart. Down to your solar plexus. Down to your sacral. Down to your root. Feel that divine balance between the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang. And with your intention, see the two growing more in your belly. That place of your Cusco, that place of the seat of creation. And put your hands there. A lot of times you can't even go pressed against your body because it's already starting to swell as if you're impregnated. And as you intend to clear this area up, to weed it out of anything that's no longer in service, see it begin to expand even greater. Feel, whether masculine or feminine, that you are a womb, a container for beautiful, magical things if you wish to. All right. So just feel yourself grounded and held. At this time, I'd like to call in all the helping spirits, the angels, the guides, the ancestors, the ancient ones. Ampwe, 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 ampwe. Calling them into our circle, encapsulating us, creating this amazing alchemical container. Really feel being held for a moment before we do anything else. Spirit wants you to acknowledge and feel this field around you. This container, this help, this guidance. Spirit wants you to acknowledge that this is there all the time. You don't need to be in ceremony to feel this, to know you are held, to know you are loved. And really drink that in. Feel it in every cell in your being. Feel the no disconnection between you and Source, knowing that you are Source. We are all one. Feel and own that limitless energy, that place of abundance and nurturing, of connection, of guidance. And tonight we will do no journeying outside of ourselves, but inside of ourselves. We will start by, I will give you the opportunity while I drum and sing to scan your body with the help of your guides, of the ancient ones, of the angels, whoever you are connected to at this moment, and ask what is up to be released in this moment that stands in the way and prevents you from truly stepping into your soul's calling, of being able to feel safe enough right before this Valentine's Day to access those deepest recesses of her heart, of compassionate love, of unconditional love, a fierce love. What prevents you? What stops you? What thought? What story? What incident? What trauma? Let it go tonight. It doesn't invalidate it, but you keeping it means you're trapped. And it's time to set yourself free. There are spiritual laws, and all those that have done wrongdoings always have a karmic price to pay. But you holding on leaves you victimized, leaves you being held in this prison of your own device. Free yourself, Spirit saying, free yourself. And tonight, this new moon is giving you the opportunity. So I shall drum and sing a song and give you the opportunity to scan and see what comes on board for you. What is up to be released tonight? What is up to be honored and let go of? For you to be able to fully embody your soul's calling, your heart, your love. And then we'll work on to the piece of manifestation after. Knowing that you are held, we are all your sacred witness. You are safe. Spirit always has your back. Creator always has your back and has created this alchemical container for you to let go and let God. So I will drum and give you this opportunity for a couple minutes to do this piece of work. Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Jai Weo, Jai Weo, Nisa, 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 Isa, 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 highway ho, highway ho, Isa, 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 highway ho, highway ho, Isa, 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 highway ho, highway ho. And as you have those pieces, I am holding a rose for you to blow that which you're ready to let go in the waters, to be cleansed, to be purified, to be transmuted. Release it now into the sacred rose. And as you're doing it, feel your light body becoming lighter. The spirits are working on you. Feel the cords being released. Feel the stories being unwound. No longer in your DNA, no longer in your luminous field. Surrender it, surrender, surrender, surrender. Let go, let go, let go. You're loved, you are loved, you are loved. And I will release the petals into the water. And feel the waters wash over you. Before we step into the next phase where I would normally have cleansed you with my mesa, feel the water wash over you, cleansing and purifying you, bringing you nourishment, bringing you life force, bringing you clarity to do the next step, which is to dream. So this next step of going in and tapping into our heart, to our soul's calling, to the beauty that lies within. See the pathway to your heart. I know it can be scary for some to open it up. For me too. But it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time, it's time to come home. To come home to our heart. To come home to our purpose. To come home to our love. No more excuses. No more fear. The fear is an illusion created by the ego. So start to make your way to your heart. With each step, feel yourself getting stronger. Feel that tremendous courage. Feel the tremendous support. See your helping spirits. See your ancestors. See Creator, God, Allah, Gaia, Goddess, walking not only behind you, but beside you. Maybe even carrying you. And before you enter the chamber, say to yourself, I am worthy. I am love. I am willing. I am open to receive. And feel that in your heart. Feel that opening. Feel it expand. Just like a lotus, and step through. Once inside, feel its richness, its ripeness, its quiet intensity, its beauty, its joy, its abundance. And find a space within your heart to sit and to dialogue. Either asking for steps that are in your highest good to take in this moment. What it is, what are your soul's callings? What are your heart's desires? What is it for you to place into these petals that are on the altar? And then I will place them in the water. So as things come up, blow them and know they're coming into the flowers, into the rose petals, to be given to the waters, to then be given to the earth. As your gratitude, as your offering. And I'll rattle for this so it's a little bit more softer. And begin your dialogue and connection with your heart now. Spirit Creator, all it is, wants you to know that it had pulled in destiny lines for each of you. So pay close attention moving forward to things that bubble up or things that come into your heart, because they are pathways leading you towards your highest destiny at this moment. And that'll change as we grow, as we move. But in this moment, ask for guidance of what is your highest calling in this moment where you are. And know that it is so. I will release the flower with the petals of which we prayed. Feeling them be fed, our prayers by the water. And let us make a prayer for the collective, for all the collective shadow that is up, that is ready to be transmuted and released. And a prayer for the collective that is ready to step into the highest calling, to raise the vibration of that web of life. To radiate our light into the world and everything that we do so that it can be reflected in the whole. Before we make our way back from inside of our heart chamber, know that you can come here anytime. Thank your heart. Thank your guides. Thank your ancient ones, the wisdom keepers, the angels, the archangels, the nature spirits. And thank yourself for being brave enough to take this journey into the most vulnerable part of our body, our heart. And from here, before we come back, ask for a color. Ask for a vibration or a frequency that is indicative of your soul's calling in this moment. And have that color or that vibration or that image flood your entire being. All your cells, your organs, your systems. changing your vibration, changing your frequency. Awakening within you, your soul's calling. And then begin to make your way back to your present space, back to our circle, back in your body. But grounding in that energy and bringing it back with you. I ask that everyone type in your color, vibration, or word to share with the group, and then I'll have Ashley read them out so that we can all gain these gifts for ourselves also. Because when we are in circle, it's for all of us. And then we will send that energy up and out to the collective. So when you're ready, please type in. And once we have everyone, I'll have Ashley read them, and then I will say mine.
Carol has red mittens playing in the snow. Bo, purple, magic. Honey, emerald green, gold, and violet. Lynn and Sean, beautiful pink, violet, and compassion. Stanislava, translucent light pink. Maria, purple. And mine was magenta.
And mine was emerald green, and it was healing/healer. Wade. Wade's was aqua blue and calm. So feel that those energies and those colors and that vibration and frequency growing between us. It's in our circle, creating this beautiful vortex of energy, sharing our gifts, sharing our frequency. Feel it circling and swirling and growing. Till it's ready to burst, and then send it out. Put your hands up and send that out to anyone on the planet that's open to receive this beautiful energy that we created as a group tonight. Anyone that's hearts or minds or souls that are seeking and are open. Bring it down to the Pachamama to feed her. Let her share in these beautiful gifts and this bounty. Then bring it back into your body. Wherever you feel cold. I'm going to burn some of the sweetgrass for Pachamama. As an offering and a thank you to her. And to let her know that we've shown up, that we answered our soul's calling this evening. And we would like her blessings. Hey, could you turn on the light on?
This one?
Yeah. So I pulled a card for us to be a conclusion of our evening together in the light oracle deck. And it says, Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? And I think, ironically, it's pretty amazing. There's a moon behind her, and there's also pink roses to both sides of her, which are in our altar this evening. And I'll read the card. It says, Star Mother, you are more held than you could possibly imagine, loved and cherished so dearly that if you knew, you would not spend 1 second of your life in separation, worry, or fear. Let the mother carry your burdens. Let her rock away your fears. Lay all your worries, regrets, shame, and guilt on her altar. Please, please, sweet child, do not fear. You are love in motion, and if you allow it, you are already healed. Let her remind you of your goodness. Let her love away your fears. Your capacity to love and hold others is limited to your capacity to love and hold yourself. Be compassionate with your sweet body, mind, and soul. Treat yourself like the beautiful spirit that you truly are. Remind yourself that you're doing the best and try not to carry it all on your own. You've got this, and the mother has got you. Let her broad arms take away your burdens. Let her lift the weight of the world off your shoulders. Forgive yourself, my dear sweet child of the earth. I was asking you, how can you mother yourself? And to me, part of that is by going into your heart, into that compassionate, beautiful, fertile heart of yours. And remember that you're loved. That you're welcome and that you're worthy. So I love that that card sums up pretty much our entire ceremony. And so, as always, love the synchronicity and the confirmation that we've done good work. That and for me, for what I was guided and directed to share or allowed to come through, was confirmed that it was good. Not that well, sometimes Candy the ego, Candy the person wants to know that. So let's all be courageous. Let's all step into our soul's calling. Let's all step into our heart and be what we share with the world, because that is truly the age of Aquarian. That is truly what we are here to do at this time. We've spent enough time worrying how we got here, why things aren't working, with all the doubt, with all the fear, with all the worry, with all the shame, with all the guilt. It's time to forgive ourselves and bring forward our fierce, compassionate love, especially for ourselves, that then that cup can be so full that it overflows to everyone we come in contact with. And I know that can feel like a tall order, especially to myself. But as always, the universe right now is here to conspire on our behalf, and that's what this new moon is offering to us: assistance and help and guidance. So may we all answer that call and know that we have all the help we need. We have everything that we need to see it through. So I love you all, and we'll send spirits home, thanking them for holding us so sweetly. Okay. So into the south, the Sachamama, great serpent. Thank you for coming and wrapping your cool of light around us. Thank you for helping us shed our past the way you shed your skin in one clean swoop. Help us to stay out of that place of suffering and step into that place of impeccability. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for any and all healing that has occurred on the physical level. Oh. To the winds of the west, Dr. Unger, Mother Jaguar. Thank you for protecting our medicine space. Thank you for teaching us how to have one foot in this world and one foot in the next. How to go over that rainbow bridge. Thank you for helping us to step out of that place of fear. Help us to know that it's safe to be in the unknown. And thank you for teaching us how to be peaceful, luminous warriors so that we learn how to walk on this planet and not leave a footprint. And thank you for any and all healing that has occurred on the emotional level. Oh. The winds of the north, the Cedar Kinte, great hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers and ancient ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of mythic and of magic and of imagery. Thank you for this place of stillness and flight. Thank you for this place of teaching us how to be the eye in the center of the storm. But more importantly, thank you for showing us our epic journey. And thank you for teaching us and guiding us how to drink directly from the sweet nectar of life, so that we no longer source from places that no longer feed us. Oh. To the winds of the east, great eagle, condor, apuchin, you who fly wing to wing with the great mystery. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for taking us to the mountains that we only dare to dream of. Thank you for teaching us how to fly wingtip to wingtip with the great mystery. Oh, thank you for helping us to see with eagle vision. Help us to see the limitless possibilities available at all times, so that we once and for all step out of that place of being fated and step into that place of our destiny. Oh. Mom and grandmother, thank you for coming here to the healing of all your children and the two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy, the crawly, the thin, the vertical, winged. Thank you for being the true alchemist and taking that which only serves to bring it back to us with gold. I thank you. Thank you for nurturing. I thank you for foundation. I thank you for grounding. I thank you for teaching us how to crawl into the womb of your belly, how to taste that place of creation. Thank you for teaching us the way of the divine feminine. Oh. Auntie Tai Tai, Mom, the Key of Star Nations, Great Spirit, you are known by 1,000 names and you are nameable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this place of oneness. Thank you for the hearts and minds and souls of everyone in this circle. Please continue to whisper in our ear and touch our hearts. Help us to open our hearts, to keep them open, to know that we are safe in this vulnerability, to know that we are held, and to know that we are worthy. I thank you yet again for allowing me to be a hollow bone. Thank you for allowing me to facilitate this evening. Thank you for supporting me and guiding me and walking with me. I humbly thank you, and I'm honored to be in service. And I once again thank all those who went before me and sacrificed their lives so that I may make this prayer. So, as always, the invitation's there. Are we going to show up? And I hope you do. It's so easy to get pulled back after ceremony into the 3D world and to all its entanglements and its trappings. But I have faith in each one of us that we can step beyond that, that we can step into our soul's calling, that we can trust the divine. Spirit saying is just remember there's nothing more powerful than light. Nothing. And we are light. So may we own our light. May we be light. May we shine light. May we bring light into everything that we do. Because that's what those of us that are here in this conscious way are being called and asked. Everyone's capable of it. They just need that beacon. They just need someone to shine a light on it. They need someone to help them spark their light. We're not here to heal anyone. Everyone has to do that for themselves. But what we are here to do is to help spark that in them. To be a living embodiment, an example of for them to know that it is possible, it's attainable. So may we all step into the highest versions of ourselves until we meet again, and may we really anchor in this beautiful new moon energy, this Aquarian new moon, and may you visit